Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG that we know and love as Fifi Blah Pew Pew, but other people might know it as a leFhy or a leaf blower. This one's located on the north spawn of Murovanka, and it's under the command of ProvoBob. Oh, and we've got no sound, so I have to restart this. And then, hopefully, if I press the button, get it to speed up. Now we've got sound. And the game's about to start. Okay. 1 mark of excellence on the barrel already, and several marks showing that he's had quite a lot of success in this Arty. The one badge, of course, that tells you where ProvoBob's from is the kangaroo on the side of the gun shield. And that's because ProvoBob is in Australia. Yes, he's in a very, well, one of the few countries that's a continent in its own right. And because there aren't that many, in fact, there aren't any other than Antarctica. But even then, Antarctica is claimed by many other nations, even though it is a continent. Well, Australia, or Australasia, you might say, the entire area, but Australia doesn't have a huge number of World of Tanks players, and as a result they have to make up for the numbers with bots, and I'm afraid in this game there are bots, and you can see them because they're the one with colons in front of their name. And he's landed in a tier 5 game with only tier 5 tanks in it, but there are a few bots in there. Now on the enemy team they've got an AMX-13AM as the opposite number. Rounds out. 410 alpha, penetrating 53mm of armor with a standard reload of 8.32 seconds. ProvoBob's got it down to about 7.5, I think it is. I can't tell exactly because we're having to use the Virgin client to actually run this game. This is a game from March of last year. Now, he sent me in a number of replays which I never got the chance to actually run and put through and put them onto the net, but there's been so much demand for Fifi games recently, mainly because people are playing them. They actually got hold of a Fifi, but they just don't know how to play it all. They like watching the Fifi and watching it tear apart the enemy tanks. And it is an interesting Arty to play. It's mainly interesting because that fire rate, look at that. First direct hit on the KB1. Well, it's the second actually, sorry. But this can be a very deadly Arty, and in fact, you can see ProvoBob's decided to carry 5 rounds of heat within his armory. So that means he started off with 45 rounds of HE. Now the heat rounds will do 350, but they do go through a lot more armor. Yes, the heat rounds will actually go through 104mm of armor. The armor piercing rounds will go through 64mm. But the problem with the armor piercing is, of course, there's no guarantee you're actually going to get it through unless you get a direct hit. Just narrowly misses the T1 heavy. Now, the main advantage with the HE, of course, is you only need to get a near miss to actually do some damage, because it's got a 2-meter burst radius, or just under 2 meters. And there's the enemy Arty. He's come a long way forward. He doesn't have to go this far forward to actually shoot. Oh, just over the top of him. I think he corrected because he thought the guy would keep moving backwards the way he did. And that one fell short. Now that he's lost sight of that guy, he's decided to go after the Wolverine instead. I think the Wolverine is a bot. Yes, he is a bot. Okay, that Covenant is a real person. Rounds out. No, goes to the left. He needs to settle, let the aim dial in. About right now. Oh, target's gone. Yes, the ideal thing to do is let it settle on the target, and then you get an accurate direct hit on the enemy. He's changing position for the moment. He doesn't have to worry about that AMX, mainly because he's got a 105mm gun as well. Now this is actually a German howitzer, It's the 105mm light field howitzer, and that's where you get the leFH in. And the bit where it says 18.3, well, it's the caliber length of the howitzer. And the B2 bit, well, that comes from the fact that it's actually a captured Char B1, and the Germans tended to number it the next one up, and that's where it gets a B2 from. And there is a B2 in the game, the Panzer B2. It's a Butpanzer, or what they call prize Panzer, because of course it's a tank that they captured. Rounds out the VK. It's a bit of a snapshot, but it was reasonably on line with the target. Just missed him. He's trying to lead the target there. No. Still 4 enemy tanks in the game, and 2 of them happen to be live players, and I'm afraid this is one of the live players, VK3001H. That's better. That looks like a hit. Just misses it, zips over the engine deck, rounds out again, and this time he does do damage because it was very close. That VK is going to go down if he stays where he is. I think he actually got tracked there, and the KV-1 went in for the ram, and the KV-1 died. Now the Anku that we see here, the Panzer IV Ausführung H, is actually a real player because that is a premium tank. Yes, Wargaming doesn't allow bots to act as premium tanks in the game. At least I've never seen a bot in a premium tank. I think it would be giving a bot an unfair advantage. After all, they are very accurate, and they do tend to switch ammo to premium just as soon as they run short or they come across an enemy tank they can't penetrate. T-67, it's a bot. He's trying to line up the shot, fires it in. No. He's down to 20 rounds of HE now, and he's got half his ammo left. He fires snap. That was a reasonable guess, though. Now, you may have seen a replay of mine recently where I was playing the PP, and I did fire snap twice in quick succession, but I was reasonably certain I was going to hit the target. In fact, I actually had hit one of the targets already with an aim shot, and then had to fire snap because he was running away from me. And the next shot was also snap, but again, it was on a stationary target, and so I was reasonably certain the reticule was small enough to make a difference. Okay, there's only 2 enemies left, and both of them are bots. But the problem is there's only 3 left on our team, and only one of those is a bot. So, well, both of them are bots. Both the other tanks are bots. Oh dear. The only live player left in this game is ProvoBob. Yep, he is actually the only person who made it out. Now, what do we do now? Well, we know that the T-67 was last seen in the Magic Forest. And normally I'd say go towards the opposite side and head down the other side towards the enemy cap. I think ProvoBob's actually going to drive straight down the middle of the map towards the enemy cap. He's not on any time constraint. It's only 6:41 left. Plenty of time. It's got a fair amount of damage, but it is a bot game, so obviously, and a reduced numbers game as well. Yes, there were 3 down at the start, so there was only 12 players either side. Okay, one of the enemies has just come into sight. It's the T-67. He goes straight to the aim, using that special trick. Control, left control, and move the mouse cursor over the minimap and right-click on it, and there you've got them. Okay, here's the enemy, the Churchill 3, which is a premium tank. So that kind of puts my theory that they don't put premium tanks in the game, or is that, am I wrong? It's definitely saying on the tank list that it's a bot. Very unusual. And the T-67's a bot, even though that's a collector's tank. Narrowly misses him again. The one advantage that ProvoBob's got at the moment is that these guys are not likely to see ProvoBob because they've got all the trees in between him and them. So they wouldn't know where to fire to because they don't fire down the line of sight or the line of impact. Bob's decided to get closer. Now that building just ahead of him, luckily it's not in the way. The shell will go up over the top. And they've killed the T-67, which means the last enemy tank is the Churchill 3. So he's decided he's going to go to the enemy cap area. Now you can see the gun inside the cockpit. It actually had a kind of unusual pneumatic recoil system, which actually made it very popular because of course it didn't wear so much, which is one of the reasons why this was the most popular Arty that the enemy made, the Germans made. It was easy to make, it didn't suffer so much wear, and of course it was 105mm ammunition, which is cheaper to build for the Germans. The 15cm rounds were much more expensive. Okay, gets a hit. 124 from that one. No, that one zipped over the top, and he's now running short on ammo and on time as well. I think what he needs to do is he needs to get into the cap and start shooting at the enemy tank from the cap area. The bot may not know that he has to come and get a reset. We've seen some bots not even bother to come back to the cap. And of course, if they do come back, they may actually come across the Churchill 3 and the Excelsior, and then they get wiped out. Now, it'd probably be a good idea for him to sit in those bushes. That's good. He's doing it. Exactly right. Okay. More than likely the enemy will come from that direction. If they try to come from the town, the Excelsior will probably see them. And there's the Churchill. Okay, he's lining the shot up. Churchill seems to be blocked by the Churchill 3 on our team. Now, can he repeat that? I think he can. Rounds out. Another direct hit. Just needs to keep pumping those rounds in while he's capping. Oh, that one missed the target. So the Churchill now has a chance to escape, and it might be a good idea for ProvoBob not to fire any more ammo until the target is resighted. He's got 10 rounds left. 1/5 of his ammo load. You can't afford to waste ammunition now. There he is. Rounds out. Well, he hit, but he didn't damage. In fact, I'd be tempted to go to the premium ammo now. Rounds out. Oh, we got a direct hit with that one as well. And he's almost capped out. And he gets another direct hit. And another. And he's less than 15 seconds now from capping out. There's the Churchill, and he's still got a number of hit points, but he fires one more round and it lands alongside. He's now on the premium ammo. Can he get a kill? Rounds out. Oh, it falls short. And he's capped out to win. So the victory is his. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a third-class tanker for ProvoBob in the 105 leFH18B2. He actually managed to survive that battle, having never been detected by the enemy, so he got the Raider medal, and he also got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 10. He actually capped out to win as well, so he got the Invader medal as well, on top of that for getting 80 capture points and capping out. So the Raider-Invader combination, which is a very rare combination because it means you were never detected and you won the game for your team by capping out. 3,187 was the win 8, so it was a very good win 8, and well, he might have been able to get that kill on the Churchill 3 at the last moment, but one of his heat rounds actually hit the ground rather than actually hitting the target. That was very unlucky because he might have got him right at the end. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he actually didn't get the highest damage in the game. He got the second highest damage in that one. The Panzer IV H Anjou managed to get the high caliber for 1,863 hit points, and that was a live player. The second highest damage was ProvoBob with 1,779, and the third highest damage went to the KV-1 on his team, who rather foolishly rammed into that VK3001H and actually expired in the process. He got 1,583 hit points out of the game. When it came to kills, it was the KV-1 who did the best with 3 kills. 2 kills went to the Panzer IV on his own team, and to the Panzer IV H Anjou, the Japanese version, on the enemy team. ProvoBob didn't get any kills at all, but, well, that's not a worry because he did win the game. And when it came to base XP, he's in second place because the KV-1 got 913, and then ProvoBob got 720, and finally we've got the Panzer IV H Anjou with 578. He fired 47 rounds, so we only had 3 rounds left at the end of the game, and they were all heat rounds as well. He got 12 direct hits on the enemy and 1 penetration. Now, I don't know which one he actually penetrated in this game, so this is the first one where I've actually no idea who he actually penetrated. And it turns out it was the Panzer IV H, and I think that's the Anjou version. And he did get a penetrating shot, 477 off that guy. So nice shot on that case. Let's have a look at the rest of his details. He got 19 splashes as well, 1,779 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 5 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, so he just missed out on getting a Confederate, 94 hit points of damage assistance, and he got 100 capture points, which of course earned him the Invader medal. 43,094 credits for the game, and after ammunition resupply took away 29,334 credits. 1,080 XP, 432 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 1,512 experience points altogether. So a good start to this video with ProvoBob picking up a Raider-Invader combo. Let's have a look at the second replay. The second replay is on the Airfield map, and we're starting on the western spawn. Game on. Now, apparently, they only made 16 of these. The rest of the Char B1s that the Germans captured were either turned into flamethrower tanks, or they were up-armoured with more armour covering certain areas of the vehicle, and they removed the 75mm gun in the front of the vehicle and just covered that over with extra armour. They were very impressed with the Char B1, the Germans, mainly because they could take a beating and not get penetrated, and especially the fact that they stood up to the Panzer IVs or the Panzer IVs and the Panzer IIIs that the Germans had at the time. Oh, that was so close on the looks. Again, he's actually got bots in the enemy team. Oh my gum, he took out that looks with 1 round to his rear. That was a really good shot. And that was a real player as well. He just took out. The shell went right up the guy's, bottom. And he's just killed a blind kill on a BT-7 hiding in the bush. He guessed that somebody might be up there looking. And he was bang on target. Okay, he fires one in. Panzer III H. He did damage him. I think he tracked him. He's going to give it another go. And he gets some more damage this time, 114. And there goes the Panzer III J. Okay, there are bots in this game. It's also got tier 4 tanks in it, which are easier to penetrate than the tier 5s. Most of them have less armor, a little more vulnerable. Now he's guessing that there might be somebody over hiding in that corner because a Panzer III Ausführung, actually a Panzer III 4, which is a combo tank, which is bits of both on it, and actually one was seen over in that corner, but we don't know if he's still there. Ah, no, that's a Char B1. That's the French version of this tank, but with the turret. It doesn't have a very big gun, but it's plenty of armor. And it's a difficult shot firing over that rock face there. Okay, he's going to hold it until the guy gets into the sight. He lines it up, rounds out, looks good. Just misses him. This guy's getting rather close. It is a bot, by the way. Oh! That finished him off. 142 hit points to a shell right in the face. Now they're 4 up on the enemy at the moment. I do believe they actually started this game with a shortage as well, like they did the last one. They're 2 down on the normal team, so there's 13 in each team on this one. Going for the Matilda, let it settle. Perfect, rounds out, direct hit. It's as easy as that. Just got to let the aim settle on the target before you shoot, and then you get really accurate shooting. Now, RNG said no on that occasion, and the shell was aimed right at the rear quarter of the Matilda, but he fires this one ahead, and this time he gets it. That's a real player. Rounds out. Another direct hit. This time much better, 194. And he won't survive another shot. Rounds out. Oh, over the top of him. But he does go down in the end, and he goes down to a DW2. Okay, we've got a B1. He's firing in, and he gets a direct hit. The Lux has reacquired the target for us. And that's a bot, I believe. Yes, he is a bot, and he's trying to kill the Lux. Now, could ProvoBob get the kill on him? Rounds out. Nice direct hit right on the rear, and it slows him down so he gets the damage assist. Meanwhile, we've got an enemy tank, which is actually a bot, an M8A1, who was using that hill to actually shoot at our teammates. Fired around over the edge, difficult shot, but I have seen a kill from somebody doing that. Fires at the VK3018, doesn't get it. You can see there's a little red line there. You need to get the rescue over the target. That's it. Now fire in, and just misses him. And he's gone. There's only 4 enemies left, including the Arty. On this game, it's a T-82 HMC, which is the American Tier 4 Arty. It's got a 105mm gun, a bit like ours, but it's an American gun. And the T-82 is based on the M5 Stuart. Yes, he was having a look there for the tracer from the enemy Arty. Oh, what's happened here? We've got the M8A1 trying to come down the cliff face there. He did a rather ungraceful dismount. One M8A1 dies. The other one, he's trying to retreat. He does get round the corner. Okay, we've got the Panzer III 4. That's the one we saw earlier in the game. Or we saw it on the mini-map, but he was actually around the corner. Trying to get an accurate shot on him. Rounds out, looks good. Very good. Direct hit for 154. The enemy Arty's been spotted, so ProvoBob's going to finish him off quickly because he could be a one-shot. He's got very thin armor, so if a shell hits him, it could kill him with 1 round. It's going to take it more than 1 round, actually. I think you may have been unlucky there, and he may have hit something that enabled him to survive. And he's not in the bush anymore as far as we can tell. No, he's moved. There he is. Okay, can we get a shot direct on him? Oh! And that's it. That's the end of the game. taken out by the VK3001H. In the second game, ProvoBob got a second-class tanker, so he's improved now, and he got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 18. He got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game, and he also got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate was much higher, 5,479, so super unicum and a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the highest damage was 2,045 hit points this time by ProvoBob. Second highest damage went to the Panzer III, who managed to get 1,706. And the third highest damage went to the VK3001H on his own team, who got 1,310. When it came to kills, though, he actually shared the top spot with the VK and also with the other enemy VK as well, VK3001H. They all got 3 kills. And the second place spot goes to the Panzer III Ausführung J on his own team with 2 kills. And when it came to base XP, yes, he's got that one as well. So technically speaking, he's got the top in all 3 columns. 903 to ProvoBob, 724 to the VK3001H. And the next highest score was the Lux on his own team, who managed to get 537. But unfortunately, he didn't survive the battle. 30 shots fired by Bob, so he actually had 20 rounds spare at the end of this game, much more than he did in the last one. 11 direct hits on the enemy and 2 penetration shots, and I'm pretty sure that one of the ones he penetrated was the Lux right at the start of the game, because that one went right up his rear and he went straight through the engine as well. And yes, that was one of the penetrating shots he managed to get. I think the other one was the BT7. Yes, it was. Yes, 410 hit points. A blind kill nonetheless. And in fact, he was perfectly correct to actually pick that bush, because that bush is used by a lot of spotting tanks who think, oh, well, I'll go up there and I'll work out where everyone is and then I'll take the occasional pot shot. It was a bad decision in this case because the BT7 just got completely wiped out. 1 round will go straight through the armor, no difficulty whatsoever. He also managed to get 13 splashes in that game and 2,045 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 3, and there's his Confederate. 51 hit points of damage assistance as well, because he tracked a vehicle which was then taken out. 46,818 credits for the battle, and after ammunition resupply, this time round he made 42,978 credits profit. 1,354 XP, 542 for this being a premium vehicle, one of only 2 premium SPGs in the game. Yes, we really do want Wargaming to bring more in, even though, of course, they seem not to want to bring them in, mainly because they don't want to upset the professional players who would be rather annoyed if there was lots and lots of premium Artys in the game. But we keep telling Wargaming you're missing out on a fortune, because most people would buy them just to experience them, and of course then Wargaming would make a fabulous profit. Oh well, you're missing out. 1,896 experience points from that game. So the second game is even better than the last one, and the second class with a high caliber and Confederate. But he did send in a third game in this particular session. Yes, it was all around of March last year. So let's have a look at the third game and see if Bob can do even better. Well, finally, Bob has managed to get in a game with a full 15 team on either side. He's on the north spawn of Steppes, and he's landed in a tier 5 game with tier 4 tanks in it. Okay, he's decided to go off down to the east side in this game, which is taking a bit of a risk because, of course, in this game, there will be some very fast-moving tanks who might be able to make their way up the east side of the map. Now, the enemy Arty in this one is another Fifi, and there's fewer bots in this game, I believe. It's more live players, so it was probably a game that was played during the day when there was lots of players about. Okay, he's ready to go. Okay, enemy tank in sight. It's a Lux doing a quick scouting run. He fires snap, but unfortunately he doesn't get a hit. But there are plenty of enemy tanks who've taken up fixed positions at the moment, including that T-34 1941, which of course is the one with the L76 gun, the 76mm gun, the standard T-34. Rounds out. Another direct hit, but that time was a penetration, and he's out the game. He's trying to get the DW2. He's lining up the shot. The DW2 stops and turns side on. It's a bit odd. Meanwhile, over here we've got a SAL 42, which is a medium tank for the French. Not a particularly good one. KV1. Rounds out. Ah, he does get a hit, and it looks like the guy fixed the track, so he might be short of his repair kit now. Another direct hit, but this time I think he was tracked. We lose sight of him. Meanwhile, the DW2, who's got very light armor, is on the move. Line up a shot, fires blind, and gets a direct hit. So, okay, keep the same aim point. He's decided to shorten it a bit. No, he's decided to give up on it. Okay, he's now going for the SAL. He got tracked. Gets a direct hit for 162. Okay, the guy's back behind the rock, but I can hear the DW2 to our left. There he is. He's coming up the rise. Bob should be able to get this. Rounds out. He does. Good hit. 161. Could do one more like that. That guy's going to be out the game. He does, but unfortunately hits the ridgeline instead. He ignores the DW. He should be staying with that guy for the moment. Instead, he's going for the SAL. Fires in and gets a direct hit. DW2 trying to come up again. Sit, line it up. That's it. Kill shot. Okay, what have we got here? Well, that's an Su-76M, which was the third most mass-produced tank in the Soviet armory, and he's wiped that one out. He's got 3 kills now. Now, we're looking for the SAL. And there was a KV1 who came down that corner, but we can't see them at the moment because our teammates aren't looking. There's the KV1. He is getting close. And in fact, we got a red line because the mounds in front of us are in the way. He fires at that KV1, but he might be in sight of the guy by now. He's trying for it again. He's getting direct hits now. It's very easy to get direct hits when they're this close. It's almost like shotgunning them. And he's smacking the guy in the side, shot after shot. There's nothing this guy can do. If he's burned his repair kit, he is immobilized. And he's got a mobility kill. And he's about to finish him off. And there you go. Very nicely done. That's the value of an Arty and a good player. They can stop an assault down one side of the map. You just keep punishing the enemy and letting your teammates get easy kills. And oh, that was a lovely shot onto the SAL. He turned his back to us and ProvoBob finished him off. And now that's 5 kills. There's only 3 enemies left and he's trying to get one of them. The Wolverine just misses him, gets wiped out. There's the enemy Arty, the PP. Now it's almost a matter of honor to take out the enemy Arty, but he doesn't need to worry about that because that guy's gone. But there is the last enemy. He's hiding down in that dip. It's a Valentine 2, and they're very difficult to kill because they've got lots of armor. But he hits him in the right spot and earns a Top Gun and wins the game. Well, even though it was a second-class tanker for ProvoBob, and well, he got a second class on his last game, I think this was better than this one. He actually managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 13. He got another high caliber, just like he did the last time, for getting the highest damage in the game. But this time round, instead of getting a Confederate, he got a Top Gun for killing at least 6 enemy tanks in the process. And his win rate was higher as well, 6,866. If you remember in the previous game, he only got 5,479. So it's a definite improvement. And so all 3 games have been an improvement, one after the other. And they were in numerical or in date sequence. So you can see how he got better and better as the day was going on. Let's have a look at team scores. Highest damage, 2,157 hit points. The next highest damage in the game turned out to be the KV1 on his own team with 1,553. And the third highest damage was the OI Experimental on his team with 1,189. The KV-1 also managed to get a steel wall in that game. When it came to kills, yes, definitely ProvoBob. 6 kills for him, 3 kills for the OI Experimental, 2 kills for the T1 Heavy, and also the KV-1 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, yes, he's got that one as well. So yet again, he's got the top in all 3 columns. But this time it's exclusively his. Because if you remember, the last time he got 3 kills and so did the enemy get 3 kills. But in this one, yes, he's the only one to get 6. And he got 958 base on the game. 736 went to the OI Experimental. And 686 went to the KV-1 on his own team. Let's have a look at the details. This time round, only 22 rounds fired. He kept the majority of his ammo, 28 rounds still in the magazine. So he really was being very conservative with the ammo and getting great results. 17 direct hits on the enemy, 4 penetrating shots. Let's have a quick look and see which ones he actually penetrated. Well, he penetrated the SAL. The guy turned his back to him and he went straight through the engine deck, and that's how he managed to get the penetration. He penetrated the DW2. This is a heavy tank with notoriously thin armor. And so, yes, 53 millimeters. No, it's no problem at all for a Fifi. He'll just go straight through that. And of course, the one that started it all off, the T-34 1941, he put 1 round through the guy, earned 560 hit points of damage in total, but that was over several shots. But it was the last shot that actually went straight through and finished him off altogether. So some very fine work with the shots. Actually, there was another one that he got a penetrating shot. I think that was the Su-76. Yes, it was, because he wiped that one out with just 1 round. Very, very nice indeed. Let's have a look at the rest of the detail. He got 13 splashes, 2,157 hit points of damage, of which 1,700 were more than 300 meters. Damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 6 of the enemy, and 110 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 47,060 credits for the game, and after ammunition resupply took away 44,244 credits profit. 1,437 XP, 2,874 for completing a mission, and 575 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 4,886 experience points altogether. So 3 very different games in the Fifi. This one getting, of course, the high caliber and the Top Gun. The last one, or the middle one, getting a high caliber and a Confederate. And of course, the first one getting a Raider Invader. One of the rarest combinations, because you don't see it that often. In fact, it's rarely actually won by any of the ordinary tanks, because of course they do get spotted by the enemy. Whereas Arty tends to be at the back of the map, firing at the enemy, and they only come into play when they really do have to pull their finger out at the end of the game and win the game by moving towards the enemy cap and starting the cap to actually force the matter. And yes, so it's normally Arties who get this combination. The Bat Device and the Invader Medal, yes, always love that combination. So much fun beating the enemy, and they never even saw you. They never detected you in the entire game. So congratulations to ProvoBob. 3 great games. And I've got more Fifi games from Bob to come. This is not the only group he sent me. He actually sent me more, but I haven't had a chance to get those done. But yet there's another 3 coming in another video sometime in the next week or so. I've got a whole bunch of replays which were actually sent to me by Sly Meerkat. And he sent me some, well, shall we say, rather interesting battles, because these battles actually contain 3rd marks of excellence. So I'm sure you all want to see those, and those will be coming up in the next couple of days. If you enjoyed this replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.